see you guys today on, or what is this, our last forum of 2023, is it? Kind of crazy to think, but we have a great presentation today, and in a minute, Megan's going to introduce our speaker, but just wanted to go over a few things, a few housekeeping things this morning. I also wanted to read just the mission of Noble to us so that we can kind of, I don't know, just know and understand what the mission is and where Noble is trying to go, and you being a part of that mission as well. So the mission of Noble is co-creating a space with committed leaders to integrate the kingdom of God into their businesses and life. And that's one of the things I love about Noble is the whole emphasis on the integration of faith and business. Because as Christian entrepreneurs, we cannot separate those two things. They're locked together, and learning how to navigate that can sometimes be a little bit of a challenge, but it is possible, and that's why Noble exists, is to help you be able to do that. So Noble stands for a network of owners, business leaders, and entrepreneurs. We have, right now, we have two of these online forums, Noble Knowledge, which is what you're on right now, and Noble Growth. And we're super excited that in the months to come, we will be launching Noble Leadership and Noble Abundance. So keep an eye out on those two things as they get off the ground in 2024. And this is just a way, this is a pathway from taking somebody from the very beginning stages of where they're at in business all the way up to those who have a thriving business, and maybe they're ready to make a bigger impact or to do more high level things. So I love that Noble has this pathway for people to be on, and there's a place for everybody on this path. So just a reminder, we are recording today's forum, and I think Susie mentioned earlier that we do now have a YouTube channel where all of these videos will go on to, and at the end, I'll let you guys know where to go to access these videos. Some things to keep in mind, we love seeing your faces, so at all possible, if you can just keep your video on, it's a great way to engage and interact. And so we do ask that if you can, please have your videos turned on, and turn off all distractions. In case you missed it, we're encouraging you to have a pen and paper, a notebook for today's session, so you can take some notes and stay engaged, because when we're engaged, we're more likely to see transformation in our life. So make sure you have all distractions turned off. And today we will stay together. We won't be doing breakout sessions at all. So yeah, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to Megan so she can introduce our speaker for today.
Yay. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. I'm so excited to introduce Chad. What a great way to finish out 2023. So we've got Chad Willett here with us today, and we've been looking forward to this one for a while. He's got quite the resume, so I'm going to go through some things to get y'all excited for today. For the topic Smash the Box. So he's part of the National Speakers Association and Screen Actors Guild, a TEDx speaker, two-time author, featured in several hit films. He worked for multiple Fortune 500 companies and is owner and operator of Broadway to LA Acting Studio. Chad is a member of St. Mary's Church and creator of the Make Faith Matter conference. We are so excited to have him here today, so we want to give him a nice Noble welcome. And without further ado, Chad, take it away.
Thank you, Megan. All righty. If you guys don't mind, let me pull my PowerPoint up. This. All right. Can you guys see that? Everyone good? You guys good? All right. So welcome everybody. I'm definitely excited. I think Susie and Megan and Chaz and Jeff, everyone on the call. Oh, sorry about that. Kind of hit it off right. This hopefully be a great way to go into 2024. And we're going to be smashing the box. And I'm going to give you a couple techniques to smash the box. We're going to do a little bit of writing and hopefully discover the walls that are holding us back. But before we do, if you guys don't mind, some of you know me, some of you don't. I was in a movie. I like to have fun, make fun of myself. Do you guys remember the movie She's All That? Paul Walker, Freddie Prinze Jr., Douglas. I don't know if you remember. Some of you guys, you're laughing. This is my claim to fame. It's Paul Walker and I in the movie She's All That. It's at the end of the movie before Usher comes out. And this is how I kick off my keynote. Just so you guys know, this is what 7 years in LA gets you right here on this screen. 7 years in LA gets you this 30 seconds for me. So see what you guys think. Here it is. Paul Walker and I, She's All That.
But we don't give a damn about Taylor Vaughn, cause Taylor's fading out and Laney's on. If I can get with Laney, yo, it'd be real cool. With the queen by my side, we run the whole damn school. Yo, keep it on the break and I'ma keep this cool. Taylor did Zach for a carnival. All for the high school.
And that's it. You guys don't know whether to clap or to boo, right? I'm sure Karen and Steve, Lamar, all you guys, joking around. I do go back to Zanesville. I appreciate the laughter. I do. I do go back to Zanesville. My dad saw it at the County Square Mall, and he looks back in his chair. He looks at me, he goes, Chad, I saw your movie. I said, yeah, Dad, what do you think? He goes, I spent $80,000 on that. Yes. Yes, you did, right? Yes, you did. Anyway, on to Smash the Box. You guys good? You guys can hear me? Everything good? Cool. Okay. On to Smash in the Box, my friends. So when you think about it, and I'll pull my slide deck up here in a second. When you think about Smash in the Box, if you guys don't mind, I want to make this completely interactive. What is the box? Can you guys put it in the chat to you? What is the box? Right? Think about the box. There's no right or wrong. Just if you guys don't mind, throw it in the chat. What is the box to you? Like, what are we trying? An idea. Limited beliefs. I love that, Jeff. Lamar. Anyone else? Limited beliefs is good. Stuck. Love it, Susie. Anyone else? Good stuff. Idea, belief, stuck. I say the box, my friends. This is launching us boundaries. I like it. I say the box, my friends, is a mindset. The box is a mindset. It's funny because I keep going back to Susie and Jeff talking about going into 2024. This is the box. When we're stuck up here in our head, there's no doubt in my mind we're in the box, right? And for me, if everyone can pull out their pen and paper, I have a little writing exercise for all of you. This would be the only writing we do. I'd like to give, if everyone get a pen and paper, it can be computer paper, scratch paper, whatever. You're the only one that's going to read it. This would be my little exercise with all of you. So just as you guys are getting that, let me frame it up. So to me, there's the four walls of the middle box. That's how I define it in my book, Smash the Box. I'm going to give you a wall, 30 seconds to write. A wall, 30 seconds to write. I'm huge. When I talk to audiences like you all in person, virtual, I'm huge on awareness. If you gain awareness on a wall holding you back, to me, when you have awareness, you can break through it, right? Awareness is power. So I'm going to give you the four walls in the middle box. The box is the mindset, right? When we're stuck up in our head, to me, we're in the box. This is the mental prison. And I'm going to talk about the four walls of the mental box and let you write 30 seconds on each wall. The last thing I'll ask, my friends, if you can just write freely and honestly, whatever comes into your head, write down, go to the second wall, third wall, fourth wall. Hopefully one will jump off at you, and then we can start smashing the box. So after this, we'll start smashing. All right, let me get my stopwatch. All right, so you're just going to write freely, 30 seconds. We'll go to the second wall, third wall, fourth wall, whatever comes into your head, write down. The more honest you are and the more candid, the more you get out of this exercise. All right, the first wall of the middle box, you and perfection. Begin, perfection. Whatever comes into your head, please write down on a sheet of paper. Wall number one, perfection. No right or wrong answer. This is just your internal dialogue. Perfection. 5 more seconds. If you guys can finish that thought up. If you would, my friends, skip down a line. The next wall of the mental box, fear. You and the concept of fear, the second wall of the mental box. Begin, please. Fear. Five more seconds. All right. If you can skip down a line, the third wall of the middle box, negativity. You and negativity, the concept of negativity, the third wall. Begin, please. 30 seconds. Negativity. Five more seconds. All right, my friends, the last wall, if you can skip down, you and judgment, the idea of judging, the fourth wall of the metal box, 30 seconds, judgment. All righty, my friends, if you can finish, look up here, that'd be great. I know this is just tip of the iceberg. I'll just give you kind of a little idea. So my friends, Sherry, Megan, Susie, Jeff, Douglas, Lamar, Steve, Chaz, Karen, all of you guys, just think for a second. Which wall jumps out to you? Please don't say anything. This is your personal inventory, right? Which wall jumps out at you? Because again, and I'm going to give you fear. I appreciate it, Megan. That's a big one. Fear, Steve, same. Yeah, fear is usually the biggest. You're right on it. 8 out of 10 times I hear fear. And again, that's what this call is about. Awareness equals power. Just to let you guys know, for me, it was perfection. I was a perfectionist. It really hurt my acting career, right? Once I was aware of it, right, I've made a lot of changes, and I think my life is different. Karen, perfection. So again, I don't care what my wall is. What is your wall or walls, right? Just be aware of it. Awareness is power, and we can break through. We had a perfection, we had a fear. And before I go back to my PowerPoint, my friends, if I could plant one more thing with you all, and then I want to go to my PowerPoint, and then I'm going to give you a couple techniques on how to smash the box, how to innovate, get out of our head. So I'm saying the box is right here, right? When you and I are stuck up here over the holidays, right, and New Year's, and I'll be up there, right? When we're stuck up here, we're in the box. And if I could share this with all of you, my mom, Mary Kay Willett, she was a therapist in Zanesville, Ohio. I'm sure some of you know where Zanesville is. She was a marriage and family therapist. And she passed in 2019. But before she passed, she was an LPN and then a therapist for 20 years. And my second book, Rip Off the Rearview Mirror, her quote opens up the book. And I just want to start this with you all, and then I'm going to go to the slide, and then we're going to move on. She said this. Think about this, because again, I said when we're stuck up in our head, we're in the box. She said, Chad, men and women who live in the past, who can't let the past go. That's where they're at a lot during the day, the week, the month, the year, right? She said past equals depression. And she said men and women that are stuck in the future, right, who are just waiting for things to be a disaster. The stock market's going to crash. I'm losing my floor, right? Whatever we're anticipating, my flight's going to be delayed. We're going to have a snowstorm, whatever it is, right? She was saying future is anxiety. Past is depression, future is anxiety. And what's so important, my friends, I'm going to give you a couple techniques on smashing the box. And you know what they hinge on? They hinge on something very, very important, the power of now. Think about it, right? The power of now, being present, right? Being present to say yes and, being present to embrace mistakes, whatever it is, they hinge on the power of now. I'm going to show all of you a couple techniques for Smash the Box. And if you guys, if all of you don't mind, I'm going to pull this up. Ready? So, if you guys don't mind, I want to show this picture real quick, and then we're going to move on to the 2 techniques. So, right there, we know the past equals depression, right? 4 walls in a box. Future equals anxiety. A really cool technique I learned, if you guys are interested, is called burn it. You know, I learned this when I was out in LA, and it's you write down the one thing that whatever still haunts you, holds you back, right? Whatever. Maybe it's one of your walls. If fear is a wall, maybe you write down fear on a piece of paper. Or if negativity is a wall, you write down negativity, whatever it is, right? But I did this exercise a couple of weeks ago again. There's a high school memory I was still holding on to for 30 years. I wrote it down on a sheet of paper and I burned it, as you guys see on that slide. I know it probably sounds like lip service, my friend. It is so therapeutic. Since I burned that high school failure that I had, which I make it worse out in my mind, right? I have seriously not thought about it again. I have not, pretty much have let it go. So just an idea, you know, if you want, it's called burn it, right? You write down that thing or things, right? That is holding you back. You go out to a safe, secure location, you burn it and let it go. It's just, for me, it's so therapeutic. And if you think about those 4 walls and what's on your sheet of paper, right? It's just such a great way to let it go. You know, and again, past equals depression, future equals anxiety. The now is smashing the box. That's what the now is about. We're in the now. We're creating, we're innovating, we're on a through line, right? We're controlling our energy. All righty. Now, if we could, let's go to a couple of techniques and start smashing the box. So the first technique I'd like to give all of you is from smashing the box, right? We know the box is a mindset. We know the walls. So how do we smash it, right? Here are some tools to think outside the box, to idea generate, to innovate. Number 1, say yes and. The yes and principle. And if I can share this story with you, and then I'll show you a clip from Tina Fey. You guys know Tina, Keenan, and Amy. I'll just show you some sketches they do, you know, where they're saying yes and. So the yes and technique is very simple. So if Jeff, Megan, Susie, Chaz, and I are doing a sketch, right, and we're at the Funny Bone in Easton, if Jeff says something to me, this is the world of improv, right? If Jeff says something to me, I should hear it, accept it, and build off of it and keep the story moving forward. That's what the yes and technique is. If you all, and again, you guys know I'm an actor too. I do some acting, right? Not as much as I used to, but I do some still. And if you watch Saturday Night Live this weekend, watch and see how many times you hear the word no in 48 minutes. And I tell my clients this all the time. Think about this. So you have a 60-minute show, say 12, 13 minutes commercial. In 47 minutes of sketch on Saturday Night Live in 2 days, right? 47 minutes, less than 5 times, you're going to hear the word no. Less than 5 times. Because they have been trained to say yes and. And saying yes and doesn't mean, right, you just agree and nod with everybody, right? That's not what the yes and is. It's you hear what Sherry says, you hear it, and then you build off of it and move the story forward. You're not sitting there saying no, right? You're building off of it. You'll hear a couple of notes this Saturday night on the 47 minutes. You will hear some, but it's very, very limited. And to me, again, going back to what Susie and Jeff, Megan, and Chaz and all them were saying, right? Going into 2024, you know, think about a yes and mindset, right? Compared to a no mindset, right? Saying yes and saying no. I'm assuming all of you have a job, or you're an entrepreneur, man or woman, right? Or, you know, you work for a company, organization. You know, when I talk to companies, you guys see that board there? That is a yes and board. Again, I don't want to go deep into that, but if you guys look at that board, there's different color sticky notes. And when you have a yes and culture at the workplace, everyone gets a voice. Regardless of title, regardless of position, regardless of seniority, you get a voice, you get to share your ideas. And then as a company organization, we're going to take the best idea and move with it, right? That's a yes and culture, right? And then compare that to this, right? You and I know this is what most cultures, not all, right? But most cultures, organizations look like, right? The board's empty. They do things the way they've always done it, right? And very few or no voices get heard, right? No culture, yes and culture. And you and I know the difference between these cultures. I mean, it's profound, right? I mean, if I'm running my studio Broadway, LA, and I have 7 independent contractors, right? My goal when we have our quarterly meetings, right, is I want every one of their ideas. Again, I don't care if it's Abby Messina, who's been with me 6 months from New York, or Ralph Scott, he's been with me 10 years. I want them both. And again, as leaders, this is what I'm always telling my companies. When you give your employees this opportunity to show their voice and share their voice, that's a yes and culture. What most employees and employers tell me, in the end, the employees really didn't care if their idea was heard or not heard. More importantly, they love that they had a voice. They're part of the process. And again, you all are successful, I'm sure, in your own right. I don't know all of your jobs, right? Businesswoman, businessman, entrepreneur, maybe you're an employee, a manager, a supervisor, right? Whatever your role, I would just think, how do you give, if you're the leaders on this call, how do you give your team a voice and let them be part of the process? So that's a yes and culture and a yes and mindset, and then obviously a much different culture. All right, back to the video. If you would, watch Tina, Keenan, and Amy, right? All Saturday Night Live actors do, I think it's 5 different outtakes of a Saturday Night Live episode. They're promoting Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Listen, if you would, how many times you hear the word no. You'll definitely hear a couple from Keenan, but other than that, you're going to rarely hear. So here you're going to see some of the greatest communicators in the world saying yes and building off each other, teamwork, right? And Keenan's no is pretty strategic. You're going to see when he does it. It's pretty funny. But more importantly, watch each sketch and see how they're building off each other. Again, when I go to a yes and culture, to me, it's teamwork. It's building. I'm building off Jeff. Jeff's building off me, right? I loved his intro. If you guys were all on here about, what Noble stands for in the Christian community. It means so much to me, kind of what he kind of framed that and what Noble stands for as a Christian myself. And I was just like, to me, I took notes, when he was talking. I'm like, I'd build off of that, and that's what saying yes and is. You're building off people's ideas. It's an open culture. We want to idea generate. We want to come up with these great ideas and then capitalize. All right, see what you guys think. 3 professionals using the yes and technique.
Fun! Celebration! Live! Jokes! Bruce! Comedy!
What is this pertaining to?
We're hosting this show this week.
Cool.
Yeah. Adventure! Luggage! ISIS. Oh. Sorry. Hi, I'm Tina Fey. And I'm Amy Poehler. And we're hosting SNL with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
I feel like I don't need to be here.
Yeah, but it's nice to know that you are.
I'm gonna squeeze you till the candy comes out.
Little candy.
Oh.
I got a little candy.
Oh, it's a sugar daddy. Hi, I'm Tina Fey, and she's Amy Poehler, and we are hosting SNL this week with musical guest Bruce Springsteen and the E Street
You
Band.
guys, you don't have to talk at the same time.
We are contractually obligated to. It's the result of a long legal battle between us.
Oh, this is giving me a headache.
What a loose, fun time we are all having. Hi, I'm Tina Fey.
And I'm Amy Poehler.
And we're hosting SNL with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Oh man, I thought it would be snowing.
And we got all this snowman stuff.
No. No! How long I gotta stay like this?
Put it back. I'll tell you. Hi, I'm Tina Fey.
And I'm Amy Poehler.
And we're hosting SNL with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
2 hosts, man, I'm seeing double.
Well, not really, Keenan. You're not seeing double. We're 2 different people.
I can't tell which is which.
There are several very obvious ways.
Okay, now which one of you just said that?
Are you okay?
Can you see us? Where are you looking?
Well, I got discount LASIK. Actually, can you guys just guide me out of here? Appreciate it.
I'm worried about you.
Live from New York?
No, not
too
yet,
early.
not yet.
Is it live from New York?
No.
You've gone downhill since we've left.
All right. So you guys saw the professionals at work. All right. So let me jump back out of here just so I can see everybody, and we'll jump back into the slides. So again, watch Saturday Night Live this weekend if you can. 48 minutes. See how many times you hear the word no. You'll hear a couple like Keenan strategic, but not many. And I could tell when you guys looked at that whiteboard, the blank and the sticky note, I could tell some of that stuck with you all, right? 2 different cultures, 2 different leaders, 2 different organizations. When you have kind of a yes and mindset and a yes and culture. And just because we have a small, intimate group, if you guys don't mind, I want to share one more thing with you all on the yes and then we'll move on to another smash the box technique. So you guys know I already brought my mom up, Mary Kay Willett. I was definitely a mama's boy. She passed in 2019. She had brain cancer. She passed away. She's in heaven. Thank the good Lord. But before that, I just want to share a story. I did a TEDx talk in New Albany. Think about a yes and mindset, especially like you all were talking about going into 2024, right? You and I know 2024 is going to be here, what, 15, 16, 17 days, right? And there's no doubt in my mind, right? It's like, what mindset are you and I taking into 24, right? And what mindset are most people? And just to give you a quick, the long or the short, my mom, back in 2015, before she got diagnosed with brain cancer, she and I went out. We were in Zanesville. We went out to the woods, and she surprised me for my birthday. And we were out there, and one of her friends captured wild animals in Zanesville, then took them to the zoo, right, and let the zoo take it over. And at the time, when we went out there, they had captured a baby bear out in Zanesville. They were getting ready to take it to Columbus Zoo. And I remember it always stuck in my head. It was 2015. It was like May. I always remember we were going out and driving up there. My mom's a really eclectic woman. And she said, Chad, do you want to go see the bear? And what was my natural reaction? Like most of it was like, no, it's too unsafe. That's my tendency. But I did remember the hand technique. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I want to have that memory. So she and I went, we fed the bear, blah, 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 right? It's one of the greatest memories of my life. And then I still have that with my daughter. You guys know I have a 7-year-old daughter. I'm like, that yes hand is always in my mind, right? Always in my mind. It's like, am I open to the opportunity? Am I open to the challenge? Am I open to whatever comes my way? And to me, that's what smashing the box is. You guys saw it on the sticky notes and the blank board. All righty. The second technique, my friends, let's go back to the slides, I can pull this up. The second technique. Any Will Ferrell fans out there, you guys? Yeah. Put in the chat if you don't. Yeah, Douglas, put in the chat. What's your favorite Will Ferrell movie? Anyone? If it's a good one, I'm going to mail you a copy of my book, Smash the Box. Throw it in the chat. Elf, Jeff's Elf, Susie's Elf. All right, anyone else? I love Elf. All right. So yeah, elves, especially at the time of year. So the second technique, my friend, smashing the box, embrace mistakes. Number 2, embrace mistakes. And again, think about the 4 walls in the middle box that keeps men and women boxed in, right? They're living in the past, right? They're still mourning what went wrong, right? They're anticipating the future. They're anxious, right? And one of the 4 walls is perfection. The greatest way to blow down perfection is this technique here, embrace mistakes. What is that? Let me explain it. So embrace mistakes. Will Ferrell was interviewed by Aaron Spicer in LA. This is years ago. Aaron Spicer, a huge LA acting coach. Aaron Spicer's asking Will Ferrell, he says, hey, tell these actors, how did you make it? Right? Because you and I know LA is incredibly difficult. The odds are against you. How'd you make it? And Will Ferrell, if you see him, my friends, offset, at least my experience, he's a pretty quiet guy, reserved, probably because of the character he plays. So he looks at Aaron Spicer, and he goes, I ruined the take. And Aaron Spicer stares at him, like, what are you talking about? And Will got a little more serious, and he looks at him, he goes, you asked me, how did I make it? How did I make it in LA? What did I do in the audition room that my competition didn't do? I ruined the take. Aaron Spicer, explained that. And Will said before he got his first big break on Saturday Night Live, where he was playing Harry Carey and all these crazy characters, he said he went into the audition room and you get 2 takes. Usually you do take number 1, they give you a couple notes, you do take 2 and you leave. He did take 1, how 99% of the actors would do it. He said the lines, made similar choices. Take 2, he ruined it. If the character was in love, he hated the person. If the character wanted money, he didn't care about money. He said the lines, but his choices were opposite or wrong what you think the character would be. Aaron Spicer, we're all like shocked, like Aaron Spicer, like, why would you do that? And that's when Will Ferrell had a little smile, my friends. And this is about smashing the box, embrace mistakes. That's when he had a little smile and he goes, none of my competition will. What he's talking about, my friends, to me, there's two different mindsets. When you're in a perfectionist mindset, right? I think we kind of went through it before, right? When you're in a perfectionist mindset, you and I know, right? This is a perfectionist mindset, right? You can't take chances. You can't experiment. You can't explore, right? And then you and I know when you're in an embrace mistake mindset, you are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to create. And Will was saying when he embraced mistakes, he said that is what changed the trajectory of his career. And my friends, if I can just share with you, one of the four walls, perfection. How do you blow that wall down? You embrace mistakes. If I could just share something real quick with all of you as you think about what's on your sheet of paper, what walls are on your sheet of paper. The one thing I'd like to share with all of you, how powerful this mindset is, how powerful I think these techniques are. When I was out in LA, I don't tell this story very often, but when I was out in LA, I was diagnosed with major panic attacks. Terrible. I know I look like a laid back guy, but like for me, when I have panic attacks, my circulation cuts off. Like I could shake Megan or Jeff's hand and it'd be like an ice cube. When my panic attacks hit, my circulation cuts off on my hand and my feet. I don't know why, but it does. So that's what I have. So I'm out in LA, I'm going to an audition, I have a panic attack. I drive there, I go into the waiting studio, and there's like 20 people like me, right, waiting to audition for a role. And what better place than Noble to share this story? And I didn't even think about it until it hit me. But true story, my friends. I was, say, 25 years old. I'm in LA. I'm a couple years in. I'm having panic attacks. And I'm diagnosed on Lexapro and Xanax. And they're upping my dosages for, my anxiety and my problems. And I'm sitting there in the waiting room. And I put my head back. And I say a prayer. So I close my eyes and I say a prayer, to the Heavenly Father. And I said, I'm done. I said, I'm ready to go back to Ohio. I'm tired of taking Xanax. This was my prayer, right? I'm like, basically, I've just surrendered. And I said, I'm done. So my eyes are closed, right? And I'm saying the prayer. And what comes in my head? Embrace mistakes. So I mean, crystal clear, kind of what Will Ferrell. So I open my eyes, go into the audition. And one of the first auditions I ever went in, my friends, I was freer. I was freer and I let the lines rip, right? And I took some chances. For me, I think that wall of perfection finally crumbled at that moment. That was the one moment it crumbled, and I think ever since then, it hasn't been a problem. It'd be great if I told you guys I got the part in that movie, right? I did not get the part, but I've never taken a Lexapro or Xanax again. So if you think about embrace mistakes, the second cornerstone smashing the box, that's what it does, right? It frees us. All right. Let's watch a little Will Ferrell, see what you guys think. Here's someone embracing mistakes. He's doing a spot for a non-cancer society.
Okay, stay out of there. Stay out. Don't eat those. I wouldn't eat those. Those aren't magic jelly beans. Don't eat. Oh, wow. That guy just lost his head. Nothing like a good game of video hockey. I'm Will Ferrell, and I'm here to issue a challenge. You see, back in the day, I was quite the video game whiz. I once played Asteroids for 37 hours straight without taking a bathroom break. Oh, I went to the bathroom, all right. I just didn't take a break. Word of my video gaming prowess actually broke the internet, and now some of the best gamers in the world want a piece of me. Boom! That's a Tetris. Guys like Captain Sparkles, Freakman Brad, Fire Kitten, Orc Lover 71, real Will Ferrell. That's of course not me. Look, I told these yahoos that I'd give them the honor of competing against me with one small condition. We raise a whole bunch of money for a great cause. Your donation will put you into a drawing for a chance to party with me at a very special live event that will broadcast on Twitch TV. The grand prize winner will receive airfare for two to San Francisco, a half-eaten bag of Skittles, and whatever other cool stuff we can scrape together. This stretch is always difficult. Hold on. And I'm through. Are you guys through? Rest of you guys through? Doesn't matter. Everyone who makes a donation to our fundraising campaign will receive great gifts from our partners such as Amazon, Xbox, and more. And here's the catch. We have to raise at least $375,000 to make this happen. I know the popular perception of gamers is that we are all extremely motivated, highly philanthropic, and impossibly good-looking. Let's not alter people's perceptions of us. Donate today, and we could be hanging out in October, or as I like to call it, Rocktober. All right, here we go. Guys, follow me. I'm the one with the tight shorts. That's my character, yeah.
All righty. All right, so we're getting toward the end. Obviously, probably about 5 more minutes left. There's Mr. Steve Jobs up there. As we wrap up, and you think about cultures and smashing the box, you all heard 2 key, when I was out at the Groundlings, you guys know, you heard in my bio, the Groundlings is an improvisational school, right? Like Second City in Chicago, 2 of the greatest improv schools in the world. And to me, when you think about improv and Groundlings and these actors, right, these men and women, right, have this incredible ability, right, to improvise, to not be stuck in their head, right? They're not in the past, they're just present. And as these talks there, he had an interesting thing, just most people don't know this, ties into Smash the Box really well. He called it unplanned collaborations. So he gets, think about improvising, right? Saying yes and. When he gets fired from Apple, he goes to Pixar. And when he's at Pixar, he purposely designed all the bathrooms to be built in the middle of the atrium at the Pixar building. And you can ask yourself, who cares, right? What's the matter? Who cares? And to me, this is part of his geniusness, my friends. Everyone on this call, the women leaders, the men leaders, his geniusness was he wanted men and women from different departments at Pixar to commingle and bounce ideas off each other. And he called those unplanned collaborations. Unplanned collaborations. So when Megan and I were bouncing ideas off each other, Jeff, Douglas, Susie, Chaz, right? Anyone on this call, that's a little unplanned collaboration. And he goes on in his memoir to talk about, he said some of the greatest ideas ever generated at Apple and Pixar were those unplanned collaborations. You guys, you all know, think about saying yes and, embracing mistakes, the culture we have, and I mean it with my business, Broadway LA. There's no better men or women I can bounce ideas off of than people who have no idea what I do, no idea what my industry is about. That's most of the time when I get fresh ideas, new ideas, all of this. So he obviously took the culture of innovation, smashing the box to another level. But again, to plant the seeds, that is how the box is smashed. To me, it's not a Monday morning meeting at 9 a.m. Box, that's not how it's smashed. You and I know, look at the slides, right? You and I know this is not how the box is smashed. It just doesn't happen, right? To me, this is how you are saying yes and, right? You have a yes and mindset. You're getting everyone's ideas. This is an innovative man or woman, right? Who is open to ideas, open to suggestions, and then taking the best idea and building off of it, right? We know embracing mistakes, letting mistakes be part of the process. And the biggest thing with mistakes is freedom. Mistakes equals freedom. It gives you freedom to experiment, explore, kind of operate in a different mindset. And, again, and then he takes this to a whole nother level with his unplanned collaborations. So as I get to the end, kind of wrap up. So just for a fun fact, if you guys are curious, Regina King, you guys can see there, right? Big Hollywood star. She's playing Shirley. Shirley Chisholm is on the left, true hero. Shirley Chisholm was a 1970s New York City Congresswoman. Regina King is playing her in the movie. It's a biopic. It should be out on Netflix. I'm hoping February next year. It's been delayed. They've had to do some reshoots. But anyway, they filmed that in Cincinnati. And thank the good Lord, unbelievable blessing. I got cast as Bill Ryan. I'm a 1970s reporter. I'm interviewing Shirley in the movie. And I always joke around. It's 2 pages of dialogue. And I talk in this movie. I have lines. So I say something. So if you guys watch Shirley, hopefully early February on Netflix, my character is Bill Ryan. I'm a reporter. I'm interviewing her and her husband in the movie. I'll be thinking of all of you guys. I promise you that. So anyway, that's what that is. All right. I'll finish with this and I'll hand it over to Jeff, do a little Q&A, and I know we're going to wrap up. There's my LinkedIn. There is my website. If any of you want to take a picture, write that down. I would love to connect with all of you on there, the 9 or 10 of you, please. If we're not already connected, please connect on LinkedIn. You guys know I'm on there all the time. I'm sure you are too. Anyone who connects with me, if you want, I'll send you a free electronic copy of my book, Smash the Box. You can have the whole thing electronically. More importantly, I mean it. I know some of you, but it'd just be awesome to have you in my network, and hopefully I can share with you and help you as well with your network and your endeavors and what you have going on. So anyway, thank you. Like I said, this is a special group, a special forum, Noble. Just I mean that. Just in today's culture and politically correct and everything, just this one's special to me. So thank you everyone for listening, and Jeff, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Douglas. Appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. It's interesting because Chad and I met at the Dublin Entrepreneurial Center, and we would run into each other from time to time, and sometimes there was maybe a great amount of time that went by before we did bump into each other. But one thing that I appreciated is every time we did bump into each other, it was as if no time had passed at all. Like you're an amazing guy, and thank you so much for coming and presenting. And so we wanted to kind of open it up for some questions for Chad. So if anybody has any questions for him around kind of what he talked about today, and you're brave enough to raise your hand and ask, now's the time to do that while we have him kind of with us. So anybody have any questions for Chad? I know I'll have a couple, but I'll save mine to the end. I'll let you guys go first. See you, Lamar.
So I don't have a question. This is what I'm seeing. I'm an artist, and I'm seeing you doing the short, maybe Pixar's short or something, with a character smashing the box. That's what I see. But your presentation was wonderful. The information, and it helped me so much because I'm an artist, as I said, and I don't have any schooling or anything like that. So it's challenging for me to figure out how to do things. And sometimes that's kind of discouraging, but I'm gonna take that concept, write stuff down on a piece of paper, take it out my backyard and burn it. Yes.
Douglas, you and I have met virtually, and Jeff, Susie, Megan, Chaz, they may know you. I don't think we met in person, but the little bit I can tell, you have incredible energy, incredible person. I appreciate, I mean it, man. Just thank you. Thank you for being you and saying that.
Thank you very much.
So Chad, I have a question.
Yeah.
What was one of the first challenges you faced when you learned that technique to smash out of the box? Because I know you've started your own business, you've had that journey back to Ohio. What were a couple of the first times what were the first couple things you faced that you had to remember these tactics and put into play?
Yeah, probably the biggest, it's a great question. I don't get that very often. I came back to Ohio, I left LA, and to be honest, I felt like a failure. Like I didn't make it at least in my mind, right? Probably, but I did. I felt like a failure. So I was working at Manpower Professional doing recruiting, and I started the studio Broadway to LA on the side. And to answer your question, Susie, probably 2.5 years in, I made the leap, and I left corporate America and I started doing the acting studio full time. Probably similar to Douglas as an artist, making that leap. We're all kind of shaking our head. Think about the four walls of the mental box, right? Fear. 85% of the people after my keynotes come up and say, they all say fear, right? They're just constricted with fear. And I was very fearful to leave corporate America. I at least had a 401k and I had health insurance. I was so scared to lose all that and start my studio. But that leap, when I finally made the leap and started Broadway LA full time, that's when everything changed. then I started motivational speaking and writing the books, but it was making that leap, getting out, again, everyone's life is different, circumstances are different. I'm not, people have to decide for themselves. I was single, I didn't have any kids, and I wasn't married. I was in a position where I could make the leap, but it still was really, really scary. But that leap was the key. Great question.
I guess mine's more of like a comment, but I think that this is the perfect thing, the perfect presentation to end this year, because I have been talking with one of my girlfriends about doing kind of like a burn it kind of technique for New Year's. And I'm like, okay, let's kind of get rid of some of the negativity, rid of the old, and then just kind of go into the new year, which everyone kind of wants to start the new year on a positive note with, their resolutions and just different things. And I feel like this really was good, because I found that fear is something that I struggle with. There's limiting, self-limiting belief, imposter syndrome, just lack of control, which is funny because as a Christian, we have faith and we know that we're going to, get through and that things happen for a reason. But it's funny that out of all of those, fear is what stands out to me the most, yet I have such a strong faith. So I think trying to figure out where that stems from and kind of how to get rid of some of those feelings that I have. But I really enjoyed this. So thank you.
Awesome. Megan, thank you so much for saying all that. And the burn it, I appreciate you bringing it up because, I don't know exactly what resonates with people, but it seems like the burn is pretty new. I think Douglas mentioned it too. So I appreciate that. And as we're all, as Christians, you're right. We have the faith, but it's like which wall is holding us back? And I appreciate your comments. Those are great.
I have a takeaway to share too, and kind of just spur on into new thoughts with this, because I wrote down something you said. You said bounce ideas off of people who have no idea what I do, and that was after the Steve Jobs in the bathroom in the middle of the building, those unplanned collaboration. And I know as most of us are starting our businesses or trying to grow our businesses, we want to talk with people who are wise within our industry to know what obstacles to work through, with people who've done it and been there. But this is a whole new concept to consider. And I think you're right. And I think we need to add that into our research or our marketing or our thought process as we try to grow.
Yeah, that's, again, another great point, Susie. Yeah, so, and not to confuse, like, I've gone to National Speaker Association meetings and conferences, right? Very, very good, right? Incredible information. But here's my thought on that. When I go to National Speaker Associations, right, and I'm a speaker, I do get great ideas. And it is very worthwhile, but we're all kind of in a vacuum, right? To me, all the speakers, right? We're all writing blogs. We're all doing the same stuff. LinkedIn, we're all doing the same, let's be honest, the same stuff, blah, 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 blah. I speak to Douglas, right? Who's this artist, right? Who is not a speaker, right? Who's, I'm thinking, or maybe you do speaking, Douglas, I don't know. But if you don't do speaking, he could give me a fresh perspective from his artistry background. Like, Chad, what about this for your next book cover? Or Chad, what about this for your showcase? I mean it. To me, when you think of smashing the box, like, those are the ideas that are out of the box. Steve, Karen, right? Who are not immersed in my world and can give me ideas from a different perspective. That's why Steve Jobs did the unplanned collaborations. It's ideas from a different perspective. Someone in accounting and engineering commingling, right, are going to have completely different perspectives. They may plant a seed and then they take that back to their meeting. Rather than, right, what I find with most companies is all the marketing people are together 40 hours a week. All the finance people are together 40 hours a week. They have 2 or 3 meetings a week, right? It's just a vacuum. And they're just chewing on the same stuff. It's just like I said, it's just the same stuff over and over and over again.
I'll be reaching out.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that, Douglas.
Let me ask a question about the yes and maybe a little bit of clarification on that statement. Dealing with this is smashing your own box, getting out of your own head or your ideology. Do you always say yes and, or is there sometimes you just say no to an idea or something that you may be doing? Because I haven't read the book, I don't want to take away from what you're stating. I just trying to know a little bit more understanding of that statement.
Yeah, Steve, it's a great question. So if you think of the yes and conceptually, big picture, think of yes and you're open to ideas. You're open to opportunities. That's what the yes and is, right? I'm building off Megan's idea. If we're in a meeting room, I'm building off Susie's, Karen's, yours. That to me, a yes and mindset is openness. A no mindset, right? You know what I mean? Is you're shooting down ideas. You're saying no, you're living in fear, you're living in perfect, right? The no is the opposite. And again, watch Saturday Night Live. You'll rarely hear the word no. But Steve, it's a great question because when you watch Saturday Night Live, watch the sketch actors this weekend, the greatest actors in the world, greatest communicators, men and women, right? Tina Fey is the poster child of the Groundlings. Poster child. When you watch Saturday Night Live, you're not going to see them just going, yes, yes. They don't do that at all, right? They're hearing what their partner's saying and they're building off of it. That's what the yes and is. Imagine Saturday Night Live, the actors saying no 50 times. There would be no story, no relationship. It would be dead. You and I would turn it off in 5 minutes. It would go nowhere. Because like in the world of improv, the worst thing you could ever do and be on stage is with a no person. Kills it. Kills creativity, kills idea generation, kills innovation. When you are with a no, it just kills it. And I mean it. I've done improv with people who say no. It's done. The thing goes nowhere. So yes and isn't just nodding. It's more to me. It's a mindset. Bless you. It's a mindset. You're open and you're building off what you've been given, and you're moving the story forward. That's what saying yes and is. I wouldn't think of it as nodding your head. It's a mindset. It's I'm going to be open to that possibility. I said embrace mistakes breaks down the wall of perfection, right? Think of those 4 walls, right? Embrace mistakes definitely blows away the wall of perfection. I think it's a great question, Steve. I wouldn't have thought this until you said it. The yes and technique breaks down the wall of fear. I really do. I mean, when I'm in a yes and mindset, right? I don't care I care, but it's going to get me through. Yes and fear, embrace mistakes and perfection. So, thank you, Steve.
Thanks for the clarification on that. I wasn't putting it just as the mindset, I guess. So thank you for clarifying that.
Great question. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said perfection was one of my walls, and that was the one that stood out to me the most, embrace mistakes. And just having a risk mindset will help me just move forward anyway.
I have an example of a yes and. When I was sharing with Chaz my idea, I'm writing a children's book, and so I gave him this letter, and then he elaborated on it, and he said, "I said so and so and so," and he said, "And what about this and that?" It really sparked something in my vision, as far as even expanding even further. So the one-on-ones are and can be an and yes moment.
Douglas, that's so powerful. And knowing Chaz did that, that's so cool, man. And just to piggyback off what Douglas said, there's a big difference between yes and yes but. Huge difference, right? And think about parenting, friends, family, right? Those are there's a huge difference between a yes and mindset and a yes but. But the yes but is my idea, right? Douglas, you're talking to Chaz and he says yes but, right? That changes the whole conversation. He's saying yes and you and building off of what you've given him.
Yes. It's powerful.
Huge difference between yes and mindset, no mindset, and a yes but mindset. That's why you aren't seeing the Saturday Night Live actors saying yes but.
Yeah. No, this has been good. Along those lines, Chad, one thing that I've been confronted on, I'm being really transparent here, and I didn't even realize I was doing it in my communication with people, is when somebody was sharing something with me, I would throw in the word but. And when I was doing that, I had no idea that I was actually making that person feel diminished. That wasn't my intention. But the word but, like you said, it's almost like this change of the conversation to more of a negative, and it also makes the person feel like I didn't just hear what they said to me because of that but. And she actually said to me, instead, why don't you do yes as acknowledgement that I heard what you just said, and then share my idea. And I was like, wow, I had no idea that, and like I said, I wasn't purposely, I'm just in the habit of using the word but, not realizing that it could actually make somebody feel diminished in a conversation, because it's just that word that seems to shut somebody down. But I like how you took it to even to like the idea creation and all of that, and being open to ideas. But I think in inner communication skills, it's also very applicable. Just having that in our conversations, acknowledging what the person says, even though we may disagree, it's better to just say yes. And so anyway, it just, I thought that was a powerful part of what you shared today, and it works not just on idea creation, but also just in inner communication and interpersonal skills as well. So yeah.
Yeah, very succinct, man. I appreciate that. It's great insight. Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna have a few. Thank you, Chad, again for showing up, presenting for us. A couple of announcements here, then we can go. So, like I said, this is the last forum of the year. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and really excited about kind of what's coming up in 2024. So here are some upcoming events coming. So January 11th, Mike Bowers, and any of you that are in the Noble Academy, you probably know who Mike is, but he's going to be presenting us on the topic basis of a successful enterprise. So be sure you look to announcements for that one. And then Tuesday, January 23rd, Doug Brutel, Chaz's brother, one of the leaders of Noble, he's going to be presenting as well. Really excited about this one too. The continuous improvement mindsets. He's going to teach us just how to have a mindset that is constantly improving and getting better. And so be looking forward to that as well. And then our first live hybrid event of the year will be January 27th. Steve Lindsay will be presenting that day. Generational kingdom business, building a legacy. And this is going to be a little bit of a different event. It's going to be more of a sharing a story, and I think even kind of an interview type of a situation, which I'm really looking forward to having more of these next year, because it's really good just to hear people's stories and kind of where they've come from and where they're going. So you can put that on your calendar as well. And then don't forget to check us out on our website. We're also on LinkedIn, so you can scan any of the QR codes to check that out. And then finally, as we mentioned, you can find us on YouTube. Go there and find any of the past recordings that we've done. We're starting to put them all over there. I'm also asking people, if you have not done so already, go there and like the channel, follow it. That way it will help us kind of get the word out. And then if you have not yet signed up for the Noble motivational emails that I send out 3 times a week, I'm getting a lot of good feedback and discussion around those, and it's interesting because in full transparency, it's AI and me combined, but it's interesting how God still uses these emails, and people tell me, wow, I read it and it was like I needed that today. So it's interesting how if you allow AI to come into your business and do it business, do it the way God wants you to do it, it's amazing how useful and how God can still use that. So if you have not signed up for those, there's the link to do so. And with that, I think that will close out our time together. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and have a great new year. Merry Christmas and thanks again, Chad.
Yes, thank you, Chad. Merry
See you,
Christmas,
everybody.
everyone. Happy New Year.